Moments ago, Senator Dick Durbin, the #2 Democrat in the Senate, wrote on social media that he was proud to endorse his good friend. And let's go right to Senator Elizabeth Warren, who joins us now with her support, which, Senator, welcome back to the show. You've already expressed your support for Kamala Harris. I've been watching you. Joe Biden started. The Clintons got on board just moments ago. We heard Wes Moore was on board for Kamala Harris. Roy Cooper, Andy Bashir broke that news on our show. I'm curious, first of all, why you think she's the one to prosecute the case against Donald Trump at this moment in history. And also, is there an argument to be made that it might be worth courting some major name, top name Republicans to join in this?
So, look, Kamala Harris is someone who can bring our party together. She can go toe-to-toe with Donald Trump, and she can win in November. And that's what it is that Democrats want to know right now. And that's, people are getting a chance all around the country to get to know again who this vice president is and how she is ready to step up and be president of the United States. I love the fact that right now she's out there working for it, as she said she would. She's calling people. But people know what Kamala's characteristics are and how strong she will be in this role. She'll reach out. She'll figure out the right person for vice president. I think it's a very exciting moment for Democrats and exciting to see this race change so dramatically.
Yeah, you could really feel it. And when my phone started exploding and people went from completely depressed and incapable of getting through the day to energized and excited that there was a focus and grateful. My feelings about Joe Biden is I made them very clear, but I also think it got to the point where all the talk about him leaving the race made it impossible for him to continue the race. And he did the gallant thing for this country. He put country before himself. And of course, not only just being an extremely loyal person, but this was the choice he made as the person for his vice president. It made sense that he would endorse her right away.
Joe Biden has been a transformative president. Biggest climate package in the history of the world, paid for by a 15% tax on billionaire corporations. All he's done for $35 insulin and canceling student loan debt and going after junk fees. But most of all, yesterday, Joe Biden gave our nation a lesson in patriotism. Donald Trump thinks about Donald Trump, first, last, and in between. Joe Biden thinks about our nation and what is best for America. And he showed us that yesterday with his actions. And it's a moment of history and a moment of pride, I think, for all Americans, Democrats and Republicans, to watch a man say, it's not about me, it is about our nation. And that's what Donald Trump did. That's what Joe Biden did. And he has turned around and said, and I have great confidence in my vice president and want to endorse her right away. I think it's exactly the right thing. We are very proud of President Biden. He's really been remarkable.
Senator Warren. Molly Jong-Fast here. Hi. I was wondering, you have done, one of the things you've done really, really well in your career, and especially in the Democratic primary, is connect with young voters. And you've done that in a way that few Democrats have. What should the vice president be doing to connect with young voters? What is your secret sauce?
The vice president doesn't need my advice. She's good, and she's good at this. But I'm put in mind, as you ask this question, about when she was then Senator Harris. And early in the Senate, we sat down, we were having lunch together and talking about what kind of things we're going to work on, what did we think we could advance. It was in 2017. And we immediately started talking about student loan debt and what it means for young people across this country. And the two of us put together a video on dealing with student loan debt, canceling student loan debt across this country. And I say that by way of saying that the Kamala I know is someone who understands where people's struggles are. I first got to know her when she was Attorney General at California and I was setting up the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Kamala was not just a ferocious attorney general going after the giant banks that were trying to cheat homeowners. She was someone who understood what it felt like to be a homeowner who was about to lose their home to a bank that had tricked them. Same sort of thing when we talk about student loan debt. She understands what it's like, that your worst sin was to be born into a family that couldn't afford to write a check to send you off to college, and yet you tried to get an education. It's her ability to reach out and understand what people are struggling with and to say, as she does, I want to work on a solution. I'm ready to get in that fight on your behalf. That's the Kamala Harris I know, and that's the Kamala Harris America's going to know and elect to be our next president.
Well, you're really talking about a well-rounded candidate, because as you talk about that side of her, there's also her experience with the law. And so you've got now the prosecutor versus the felon. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. Thank you.
I'm going to get that T-shirt. I'm going to get that T-shirt, Mika. Prosecutor versus the felon. I like it.